Hello and welcome. My name is Carl and this is a dashboard tutorial which will hopefully help you to make most out of your measurement data. In this tutorial we will speak about navigating the map view, visualizing your measurement data, creating some statistics from it, selecting modules, adding them to lists, as well as creating module logs for our digital twin, report issues to us, as well as managing users and projects. Let's dive right in. After you log in to our dashboard, you have access to various demo projects that allow you to test some of the features of our dashboard. You can navigate with the left mouse button as well as the mouse wheel. You can also press the plus minus button to change the zoom or the rotation button to change the rotation. You can also set the auto rotation depending on the orientation of the tables in your project. The button below is for sharing your location, which is especially useful if you are on site. If you wanted to measure distances, well, you can. There's a ruler. You press once for the start, you press once for the stop. Click again on the ruler and drag the end to change its distance. So this one is 700 meters. After you're done, right click and delete. Below is a button that allows you to set different base maps. There's a satellite view, there is a roads view, and there's also a base map that has no base map at all. You can disable the tables. You can also show the strings. The string view allows you to show all the names of all the strings that you have. If you zoom out, you would only see the regions. There's a map search function which allows you to select first the region and then the table that you want to find. And once you click on search, it will highlight you the table that you want to find and look at. You can also look for a specific module, like here, and there it is. You can select different user groups and different projects if you have access to, as well as different measurements and different ground maps. If you have access to, you can change between visible map, EL map, and IR map, as well as IV map. If you need, you can comment directly in the map. You can choose the color of the comment marker and the comment text. Note though, if you press save, in the demo project you're not allowed to change anything. Next, let's speak about data visualization. You can use the highlight drop-down to show and hide different features. You can show and hide the comments or just the label of their comments. You can show the different measurement issues, such as broken circle, which has been marked here. You can also show different features. Let's have a look. There are cells with backsheet scratches, cracked cells, and severely cracked cells. You can also change those sliders to only highlight those modules that have at least a certain amount of affected cells. Now we look at only those modules that have cracked cells more than 64, but also all of the other features. You can change the color of every feature freely if you want. Note though, this is not possible as this is a demo project. There are other things to look at. For example, the ratings. Every project comes with a QE Labs rating. There are other ratings possible. More about this later. Now we only look at those modules that are rated as shattered or have a bypass diode issue. There are two more parameters called integrity and uniformity. While integrity tries to quantify the brokenness of a module, uniformity quantifies the uniformity of the L signal. A high uniformity usually correlates very well with a very low power loss, while low uniformity correlates to a very high power loss in comparison. Especially if you zoom out and you look at tiny features in a large map, you might not see them. In order to always show them, you can replace the module with the marker view. Markers are zoom independent and allows you to always keep track of your features. You can also blur your features. This is especially then helpful if you wanted to smooth out local differences and highlight general phenomena. And now let's speak about statistics. If you click at the overview button at the bottom left, you can get an overview over all the measured data. You can select an overview over all the modules or just an overview over a region within the whole measurement area. For example, block 1 or block 2, which contains so many tables, so many modules, and there are so many measured items. You can also highlight the issues easily from the overview tab, such as cracked cells or severely cracked cells, or cracked cells with vegetation or inactive area and so on, or only those ones that are marked in a certain rate. Maximize and select individual features to obtain a module heat map. Here, for example, we see that vegetation features occur mostly at the bottom side of the module, while cracked features occur in a somewhat Z shape more in the center of the module. Below you also have a statistical distribution of the integrity and uniformity values of the modules. At the bottom, if available, you can also download the measurement report as PDF. There's an overview report and there are also reports for every region independently. There are also different ways to export the data, for example, as an SVG, a vector data, or a KML. Let's have a look at the results. So this is an example SVG output. It will show everything that has been highlighted in your map live. This is the KML file as shown in the Google My Maps. You can also export and generate your interactive tables while clicking on the interactive table button. You can add different columns depending on the features that you care about, and you can filter them. Now, for example, we look at all of the modules that have at least one backsheet scratch and that are in block 1 and that are of this string. You can click on the rows to see the affected module. Here with an image of the module, and there is our backsheet scratch just there. The result you can easily download as a CSV. Let's get some data for this. Open the CSV and there it is. All of this is about data that we provide to you. But what about data that you want to provide for yourself or for your colleagues? What about modules that you consider that need to be serviced, that are broken, that have broken glass, that are of a certain feature that you would like to list? Let's have a look. You can show, create and edit user lists in the same highlight dropdown. Here there are already some lists existing. If you check them, they become visible in the map. Let's have a look. So all of those modules are labeled as what? Wonky connector. You can click on manage to rename and remove the list as well as change their color. You can also create new list items. There are different ways to add modules to list. One way would be to open a module dialog and then click on add to list, and there select the list that you want to add this module to. So now this module is added to please check and also wonky connector. Good. This might not be suitable if you wanted to add a larger amount of modules. For this, there's the selector tool that I just clicked. Here you add and create a polygon with simple mouse clicks, and a double mouse click will finish the polygon and add the result to a selection. You can also hold down Shift and drag the area that you want to select. That's of course much easier if you align the rotation first according to your modules. Once you're done, you press those 3 buttons and you add the modules to the list that you want to add them. Once you're done, You can clear the selection and look at your selected items. Now all of those modules are on the one key connector list. You can also get the statistics for every list item. So we have now 175 modules in this list item, and there are these features, and that's the distribution of uniformity and integrity. Our dashboard runs on the desktop, but also on any mobile device, and you might find yourself on site and find a problem with a specific module that you would like to log. So for this, you open a module dialog, go to log, and add a message of your choice. Every message will be added to its log. There are also image messages that you can create, either with drag and drop an image or with creating an image from your camera. You can also add a description to the image. You can also visualize all the submissions. They're different colors depending on whether the submission comes from you or from someone else. For the next step, the barcode scanning, you are required to share your location. This is important so it can be kept track of where the user was that was scanning barcode. Once the barcode scan module is open, you can either scan with your camera or you scan with any usual Bluetooth scanner. The different scan layouts, for example, go from left to right until the end, one module up and then right to left. That's the one that we chose right now. Where the module bottom left is indicated by the slider blue circle. Every time the module now jumps to the next one is when a module scan has been completed via a Bluetooth scanner. Once you're done, you can click on the module and you see the scanned barcode. By the way, this is all interactive and in real time. If there are other users in the same project, you will see their position because they shared their user location, and you see which modules they were scanning at the same time. You can also create an overview over all of your submissions. You can filter by user, by date, by whatever the type of the submission was, by string, by table, and so on. And once you're done with filtering and sorting everything, here we see our barcode that we just scanned. You can export everything as a CSV. Nobody is perfect. You might have an issue or a problem or a question with the dashboard or other apps, and you might want to submit it. To do that, you can click on an individual module to submit an issue for that specific module. You click on the issue button, select dashboard, that's already auto-selected, and that measurement and that region and module. You can also just submit a general issue with this dashboard or other of our products. Give it a title, give it a body, you can add a picture to it. You can also add or list all of the issues that you have already submitted, and you can see the chat that has been recorded for it. Once we answer, you will get an email notification that will guide you back to the dashboard where you see the latest status. You can filter for open and closed issues. On to the last item of our tutorial, how to manage users. That's the users that you invite into the dashboard, and how to manage new projects. If you want to see your own asset in the dashboard, well, you might want to add new projects. For this, you click on projects, then add new project. You can give it a name and below an objective. You can set a start date, the general location of the project. There are quite a lot of fields that you can set. You don't really have to set. Every information that is missing, we will ask you about afterwards. What is usually important for us is that we get a DWG drawing and that we have an idea of which strings are connected. Wow, is there a string inverter used or a combiner box, and so on. Once you're done, you can save everything as ever draft, which will allow you to edit it later on, or you can create a new project which will notify us, and we will then get in contact with you. If you click on your account name and you select users, then you'll see a little add new user button, but only if you're a managing user. You can enter the first name, the last name, email, and you can also decide whether the user that you can create That's all for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can either submit issues the way I just showed you, or you can reach out via email. You see that in the bottom right of the screen. You can also visit us. We are either in Singapore, in Nanjing, or in Munich.